Hello everybody, I'm Larkin Omega, and this is a episode of Modded Factorio. I'm doing these live streaming on Twitch, so if you want to come check those out, they'll be batch recorded, and then I will upload them to YouTube on a schedule. So this is episode number 1 of Modded Factorio. This is supposed to be episode number 5. I played a bit yesterday, and I got some progress done. And I'll show you exactly what I got done yesterday. Set up, I got a nice little branch line for coal coming off, and I got some automation started. Yeah, so I played a little bit yesterday, and none of those episodes went to Twitch. I have to restart. So, bye-bye current factory, we're probably just going to remake you. Oop. I don't need to save it. So we'll just start all over and we'll get going. And now, while I'm doing the boring stuff of getting the factory started, I'm going to go ahead and, I need to start my timer. So while I'm doing the boring stuff of getting my factory restarted, I am going to read off the list of mods that I'm using. And I'll give you a little bit of preview of what they are and what they do. Oh yeah, that's not going to help at all, is it? I need a tool. I'm going to make 2 of those. Alright, so first up, I'm using CFan, which is a Factorio mod manager. It ties into the API that they put in with 0.13, and it allows me to download and use mods. Now, I am primarily using it just to keep my mods updated and everything. I didn't check it today. I probably should have, but that's the first one on the list. Advanced Personal Defense. It adds a shoulder-mounted Gatling gun and increases the damage of... It creates a secondary laser turret for personal defense. That's it. It's a modular armor thing. Little mod. I'm using Aircraft, which basically give you aircraft. Which are incredibly useful, as you might guess, but they're a little bit late game, so we will deal with those as we get to them. I just had my computer lock up for a second. I've been having issues with my computer today, so please excuse me if the stream just dies. Don't know what's up. So, anyway. Aircraft, using artillery, which gives me an artillery piece to use against spiders. Also kind of late game. I'm using auto deconstruct, which automatically designates miners for deconstruction whenever they've mined out the patch of ore that they're on. Really nice mod, really useful for bots. Again, really small, makes the base user experience a little bit better. Auto deploy destroyers. This adds an item for the modular armor, which allows you to automatically deploy destroyer drones. It's really useful, and because you don't have to manually monitor those. I got a little bit bored doing it. You don't waste too many, and yeah, it's just useful for fighting later on. Auto trash, which once I get logistics slots will allow me to designate some items to auto trash. To throw in my trash slots in logistics so the bots will pick them up and put them in storage. That's all that's for. I have autofill, which automatically fills things with fuel. And yeah, that's it. It just automatically fills things with appropriate fuel, like coal. And yeah, it's a useful little mod for when you want to do stuff. I have blueprint spring, which blueprint string, not spring. What am I saying? That allows me to import and export strings for blueprints, so that way I can save them or share them with people. It's a pretty useful Yeah, we might make some use of that later. Charcoal burner, which lets me turn wood into charcoal, which I probably should have been doing. Because it makes charcoal burns a little bit longer. Enhanced map colors. When I open the map, it'll show better colors for like for conveyor belts and that sort of thing. Evo GUI, which you see right up here, shows me the biter evolution. It lets me track that pretty well. Tells me basically when I'm in trouble. Expanded tools gives me more mining tools. So instead of using these basic iron axes, I can upgrade them steel, and then there's a couple of items that go further. I thought it might be neat. Factorissimo, which is the mod that made me want to start playing again. So Factorissimo is all about creating indoor factories. Oh, you can't output. Okay, that's what the problem is. Need to pull the wood out. Okay, fair enough. No, that should be working now. Factorissimo allows you to create this indoor space that just increases the space you have. Factorio is theoretically infinite. There is a map border, but by the time you get to the border, it won't really matter. But this allows you to build a pick-upable building with things inside of it. It's really neat. Makes me want to play again. Blueprints, same sort of thing as Blueprint Spring. Blueprint String. Why do I want to say spring? But in general, it's the same sort of thing, and allows me to manage my own blueprints. But in a more organized fashion. The blueprint book kind of works with it now, which is really cool and really neat. We have rail layer, which is a godsend for putting down long rail lines, which I'm gonna need because the ore settings on this map are not that great. Speaking of, the map that I'm using is a couple more of these. The map that I'm using is a peninsula map, if you can't tell. There's one little biter colony up in this corner right up here that I'm gonna have to deal with, but I gotta get my stuff set up first. Oh, and I'm all out of fuel. Go figure. We'll get this set up right here and plunk these down. And we'll go get some more fuel. Make one more. So I'm gonna need to break out of this peninsula at some point. I've got enough resources to start with, which is great and all that, but I would need to get going at some point in the future. I will need to push out quite a bit. So yeah, we will get to that. Let's see. I'll take it all. Next up is GDIW, Gosh Darn It Water, which is not the original title. Yeah, Gosh Darn It Water allows me to change up some of the water peculiarities on some of the later on, like what are they called? Chemical workshops and that sort of thing. Adrian, no, it's not a very big colony. It's 4 nests, and we will actually probably get to it on episode 2. It's going to take... It took me that long to get to the point where I could automate it, to get all the ammo I needed and the research going and everything. Speaking of which, we need to go ahead and get that started. Get some power going. And then we need an offshore pump, which I don't have any circuits for. Let's see, now I can make an offshore pump here. We'll go ahead and get that started and get the electric miners and everything set up. We want to set this up here. It wasn't very hard to deal with in the episodes that I No, I don't want to put that one there. That I lost yesterday. So we'll shouldn't be too hard to deal with now. I think if I do this, we can expand pretty easily later. I did, so I'm kind of sad because I lost a couple episodes yesterday, and I ended up actually dying against the colony the first time I went to fight it. So my first game of Factorio, I ran it completely on peaceful, so I'm not used to aggressive biters, and not used to the way they aggro compared to the way the peaceful biters aggro. So I ended up dead quite a number of times in the lost footage. Should be a little bit smoother this time, but we will see about that. My autosave's on 15 minutes, so if I die, I end up losing about half an episode. Anyway, back to the list of the mods. I was on Gosh Darn It Water. Google Maps Factorio style, so I can take a Google map of the whole map as it's come along and put that up for people to see. I will probably do that after I've made some progress. I've got laser beam turrets, which turn the laser turrets from little pew-pew little shoot things to actual laser beams, which is really cool looking. I've got late upgrades, which add 25 levels of upgrades to all the military tech and all the bots and all that stuff. Which is just, late game stuff to deal with. Modular armor, which rebalances the armor and some of the mods that go into the armor and all that stuff. It's nothing major, but it does create the fusion core. It needs to take fuel, and adds a couple things like a power pump, which will actually pump from your power grid rather than powering the armor itself. So that's kind of neat. I'm not sure about this one. It might be a little bit too difficult to use, but then again, maybe not. Hey, Craig. So that's modular armor. More light gives me more light at night. Light objects give off more light. It's really bad is if you guys can't see what I'm doing on the stream. So I've done a couple things to help with the visibility problems. Let's see. I've got night vision, which changes the night vision module from green to clear for the most part, so it'll make it a little bit easier to see. Alright, that got me plenty of coal. So that'll be nice. Orbital ion cannon, which is a late game mod again. For after I've started launching stuff, it'll make clearing out biters a little bit easier. I've got I didn't put any in here. Let's see. Orbital ion cannon, personal laser turret, which changes the personal turret defense into an actual laser turret, which takes upgrades and does more damage. Kind of negates one of the earlier mods, but that's okay. Just you or the video not playing. The video could very well not be playing. Nope, it looks like it's going. It might just be you, Adrian. Let's see, where was I at? Personal laser turret. Power armor Mark III, which is a 20 slot power armor. 20 by 20 grid of power armor. Late game stuff again. Pre-fusion, which rebalances the modular armor solar panels. A couple other things that make using modular armor pre-fusion worth it. Ties in with the modular armor mod. I've got rail tanker, which allows me to transport liquids via rails easier. It's going to get added to the game. Didn't get added with 1.3, but it will get added at some point. The devs have said so. I have renamed trains, which allow me to rename trains and buildings and stuff. Just in case I want to honor Craig for being such an awesome dude. I can rename a train the Craig Express and run over a whole bunch of biters or something. I have satellite radar, which increases the size of my radar based off the number of satellites I've launched into orbit, which is useful. Shuttle train, which gives me a train that allows me to shuttle in between outposts and stuff really easily, instead of going through the train, going through the normal train window. It has its own special window I have small fixes, which just add a couple things to do with bots that were annoying me last game that I noticed. Smarter trains, which makes trains a little bit smarter. You can set up a little bit more complex things. Even with the train improvements in 1.3, smarter trains is worth it to get just for the refueling station. Although I'll probably set up a pretty good refueling setup before I set up the smarter trains one. We'll see though. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with trains yet. We're not even close. Squeak through, which allows me to fit in between things, which is so nice. I mean, I know it doesn't make sense when you can fit in between pipes. Like, I probably can squeeze through right here. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, but oh my god, for the mobility, just for the mobility aspect, it's well worth it. See, what else do I have? I've got Squeak through Tank Works, which gives me more tanks and ammo and stuff, so that should be cool. I didn't get to play with it in my last playthrough. I grabbed it way too late. My power armor was too powerful, but that should be a lot of fun. The Fat Controller, which allows me to control trains. Again, with the 1.3 improvements, trains are great, but I want to use this mod. It should work even better now. Upgrade Build and Plan, which allows me to like replace these belts with faster ones later. Just minor put some items in. Y-Tex, which gives me high definition textures. Like, this would look a lot worse than it is. They're actually pretty high def now. Warehousing mod, which adds warehouses instead of using like regular chests, you have bigger warehouses that can hold more stuff. It's a useful mod. Water well, which allows me to pump water from anywhere. And then Yarm, yet another resource monitor, which is incredibly useful when you're setting up rail lines and trying to figure out how long a patch of ore is going to last you. So, those are the mods that I am using. And we are well on our way to getting started here. In fact, yeah, we got about 10 minutes left in this episode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a burner inserter to feed coal down. And then we should be good to go. We'll go fight the biters next, probably at the end of next episode, because that's going to be how long it takes me to get the right amount of ammo. And this will feed all the way down to here, and we're going to need a couple more of those. 3. So we've got power, and this is just temporary setup right here. But it should work for right now. We'll expand it and change it up later. But I'll probably split the coal off down here, and you are out of coal, which is nice to know. You're burning along, you're burning along. We will go ahead and get a couple electronic miners built up. And I'm not sure what we're short. There's another one. And we will plunk you down. Oh, right there works. We'll go ahead and get those made. Make up 10 of these so we can get our first research done. And we need to research automation first thing. So we're going to start with that. Make up a couple power poles. There they are. I don't have any wood. Well, luckily I've got a forest up here I can cut down. So yeah, Craig, this is a management building type game where you can explore and do a whole bunch of stuff. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Quite a bit. Alright, so I need some power poles. And we'll go ahead and get some. You have to connect everything up via power poles for the electrical ones to work. And there we go. This is a science lab, which I have to put science packs into to make it research. But let's Go ahead and pull you up, and we'll grab you and you. Get all this stuff picked up, and we will put these down like this, and get this set up so we can have a smelting facility. I'm gonna have to feed coal into these, so I think it's gonna put it all on the... Pretty sure it's gonna put it all on one side of the... You know what, I need to make some more belts first. And we should probably do this and get you in place. I'm gonna want you to mine out this area, I think. Yeah, that'll work. And then we get the poles brought down to here. We need another pole. So it might be a little bit boring for people who are not used to these style games. Okay, yeah, that's going to be a problem. Coming in, and what we'll do is we'll pick that up, and then we'll that there like that, and it'll put it all on one side of the belt. All right. We'll probably have coal come straight down here. Yeah, we'll have coal come underground and then meet up probably right here with this line. Where can I split it off at? Right here, and then under, over. If I have it split right there and then go north and south. Yeah, that'll work. So we just need to pump these in here, finish off automation, and then we're going to need to start this one next. So I need the underground belts. You like games like this? Well then, you should really enjoy this. This one is amazing, Factorio. It's pretty in depth. It's really awesome for lots of different things. Lots of automation that you can set up. Alright. But if I need to go ahead and start getting this set up right. So we can start. Okay, thank you. Yeah, this is research queue. Did I skip that one? Rename train. Yeah, I skipped research queue. It just allows me to queue up research. Not so useful early game, very useful later. So, but I do need to get these things back down. Ooh, no, that's not a problem. That's not an issue. So that's gonna be coal. No, coal is gonna come straight down. Okay, yeah, that works. All right, so we can put you there, and then we need to make some inserters. Well, we need to make some more iron first. Is what we need to do, so I can get some inserters made. Yeah. I completely cut that off. Alright, let's double this up real quick. You might enjoy watching this series then. I got pretty in depth with it on my first playthrough, but I didn't ever launch a rocket, which I kind of regret not doing on my first one. I had a lot of fun with it, so. Alright, so those are set up there. So at least I've got iron still going. Still doing a lot of stuff manually, but that's the beginning of the game for you. They did add achievements and stuff, which I kind of want to do, but I also kind of really enjoy playing Modded Factorio. So for a lot of the achievements, I can't get them by playing Modded, which is kind of a pain, but it is what it is. So we're going to hide a bunch of stuff over here. I don't need very many more of you. Okay, oh yeah, science packs. I need 10 more. So, you know, I'm not super experienced, but I know enough to know how to play the game. So, there is that. So we will continue you, and we'll get the copper smelter set up in the right spot. And then I believe I can set up the export. Yeah, I can have one export belt for copper and for iron, which is not super ideal, but for the early game works just fine. Insert it in here and get the research going. So I need to take out that biter colony because it's the only one on the island or on the peninsula, and they will group up and attack at some point. I've got a little bit of time before they get to that level, before they would come and get me, but I am not ready for them in any shape or form right now. So we start trying to defend ourselves. Oh, this one was 20. I thought logistics was... I have to make more. Oh well. So yeah, we'll get to the point where we can defend ourselves. Then we'll actually attack them before they attack us. That's the plan, at least. And well, since we're waiting on stuff for right now, we're going to call this the end of episode 1. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys later.